It's an early season showdown in District 3A14. Two teams unbeaten in league play, Gilmer and Daingerfield. Coming up next on Fox 51. Good evening, everyone. Sid Allen along with Buzz Long, and welcome to Fox 51 for another night of high school football. Got a good one for you tonight, Buzz. We've got two teams that have had kind of a slow start for the season. Neither one of them have winning records, but they're both unbeaten in district play, and that makes this an early season showdown.
This should be just as you say, Sid. As a matter of fact, the Gilmer coach, Bush, states that this game could be an open way to the playoffs. He says the team that wins tonight could have a good chance at winning the district championship. It's an early game, but like Sid said, for both coaches and both teams, it's a very important encounter.
Talk a little bit about the home team, the Daingerfield Tigers. They've got an excellent running attack, and it's led by Duke Favors, who in the last two games has gained over 350 yards.
They have two great running backs. Now, Duke Favors is the kind of guy that once you hit him at fullback, one man can't bring him down. It's going to take 2, 3. He's a bull running wild when he gets into that secondary. Now, the other running back, Nigel Traylor, he has the moves and the speed. So all in all, these two are very, very difficult to confine, especially when they run out of this multiple I formation where quarterback Nix can give the ball to anyone at any time and also throw it, unusually, but sometimes he does throw it.
And on the other side of the ball, Gilmer, the Buckeyes, have an excellent quarterback in Dalen Hill. He's just having an outstanding year.
Dalen Hill's having a great year. As a matter of fact, Dalen Hill is a very pleasant surprise, along with a young man by the name of David Lee Smith. Last year, David Hill passed for over 900 yards, and on the ground, his counterpart in the backfield there, David Lee Smith, we might say, ran for some 809 yards and 10 touchdowns. So this is a tremendous 1-2 punch. By the way, these teams have one common opponent so far, and that's Tatum, and Tatum has beaten both teams significantly, and there's a lot of things that make these teams well matched up. There's a lot of good competition to take place tonight in Daingerfield.
And as we said, it's an early season showdown. Both have beaten good teams early in district play, so it should be a good one coming up next from Daingerfield. We hope you'll join us.
And welcome back to Daingerfield. And fans, we're glad to have you here tonight. It's a great night for football. There's a hint of fall in the air, Buzz, and we're in a small East Texas town where football is very important. These Daingerfield Tigers were state champs twice back in the 80s, so it's really great to be here tonight to watch these two teams.
It just feels good. Finally, like Sid said, it feels like high school football tonight. It's in the air. And by the way, we were talking about the two teams being fairly equal on paper and their season being fairly equal. If the scales for experience would tip one way, it would be maybe toward Gilmer. They have 11 starters returning, and Daingerfield has only 6. So other than that, Sid, it looks like two great teams, well-balanced, similar records, similar personnel, a great night for football. And Sid Allen, I'm really looking forward to working with you tonight.
You're looking at the Gilmer Buckeyes wearing their black pants and white jerseys, and of course Daingerfield in their home blues tonight. And teeing it up to kick it off for the Gilmer Buckeyes, number 14 down there is Dalen Hill. He's their quarterback. You're going to be hearing a lot about him. He does a lot for this team. He punts the ball as well as quarterback, and of course he'll be kicking off here. Number 11, right there in the middle of your screen, is Jeremy Long. He's going to be the deep back for the Daingerfield Tigers as we get set to get this one underway. Two teams unbeaten in district play coming into this one. Daingerfield with a record of 1-2-1 on the season. Gilmer 2-2. Both coming off big district opening wins last week. And we're set to go.
Let's play football, Sid Allen. We're ready. Fox 51 is on the air.
Dalen Hill gets the kick away, and this is Eric Collins bobbling it, and now Long picking it up at the 1-yard line, up across the 10, and is going to be knocked out of bounds just as he crosses the 10-yard line. That's where the Tigers will put it in play, 1st and 10.
Well, Jeremy Long bobbled that ball, almost got in trouble, but got out of it.
Let's look at the offense for Daingerfield. The tackles tonight will be Brian McGill and Dustin Crowley. The guards, Joe Bowers and Scott Foster. Starting center, Jeremy Jackson, and the tight end, Jeremy Hoffman. In the backfield tonight for the Tigers, their quarterback, Larry Key, number 12. He'll be joined by running backs Duke Favors and Nigel Traylor. At the flanker, Eric Collins, and the split end is Kylie Barton. So that's how the Tigers will line up on offense for their first series of downs, beginning at their own 11-yard line here from Daingerfield. This is Larry Key, the quarterback. Again, the setbacks, Traylor and Favors, and this is the first man through Traylor, and he picks up about 3 yards up to the 14. Going to see a lot of just rough, tough inside football tonight probably from the Tigers. As we look at the defense for the Gilmer Buckeyes, the ends Tim Ford and Josh Garrett, the tackles Chris McIntosh and T.C. Hodges. They're joined on defense by a trio of linebackers Paul Dodd, David Lee Smith, and Terry Hawkins. And in the defensive backfield tonight, the corners Adam Teftiller and Larry Tennyson, and the safeties are Rico Gardner and Will Farrell. So those are the lineups for the two teams as we go 2nd down and 6 for the Daingerfield Tigers. This is Key, the quarterback, handing off to Favors, second man through, and he gets up across the 15 up to about the 18-yard line. So a pickup of 4 yards for Duke Favors. Going to bring up 3rd down and a long 3 for Daingerfield.
By the way, Sid, last week Favors had 178 yards running, and 2 weeks ago he had about 180 yards. So he is a ground gainer, and he gets most of those yards the hard way by bulling in there with that helmet and just churning down for yardage and even extra yardage after he's tackled.
Split ends on the far side of the field on this 3rd and 4 play. First series of downs for Daingerfield. Quarterback Key sends Collins in motion to the near side. Turns, pitches back. No, he hangs on to the ball. Now pitches back to Favors, trying to find some running room, but Gilmer Buckeyes all over the place. Busted play as Key faked the handoff. Looked like he wanted to hand off, but kept it. And then when he tried the pitch, there were Gilmer Buckeyes who had converged and stopped him for a loss, as the officials spot it back at the 13, a loss of 4 yards. Watch this one again.
Larry Key is very lucky he didn't fumble this ball, especially at this location on the field. Fakes to the first man through. He's in trouble back there. Finally, in desperation, he throws it back to Favors, and Gilmer is simply reading his mail and swarms him. Loss on the play.
Number 33, Tim Ford, was the Buckeye who forced that play, and now you look at Eric Collins back to kick it away for Daingerfield. Gets a low kick, and it's fielded at the 48-yard line, moving to the left, trying to pick up some blocking, and getting it across the 40 down to the 39 is Adam Teftiller, the return man for the Buckeyes. So good field position for Gilmer to start their first series as the officials spot it at the Daingerfield 39-yard line.
Well, like Sid said, Adam Teftiller returned that one. It looks like it's going to be a great field position for Gilmer to have its first possession of the football.
Look at the offense for Gilmer. The tackles are Dodd and Garman. Guards are Matt Dean and Seth Langford. The center, Brian Light, and the tight end, Josh Garrett. In the backfield for the Buckeyes, at quarterback, a good one, Dalen Hill. Joined at the running backs by David Lee Smith and Rico Gardner. Vasquez and Teftiller are the wideouts. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line for the Buckeyes. Their first series of downs, and the pitch back and around the left side, picking up some yardage and down to about the 45. Wrestling for the ball, David Lee Smith able to hang on to it and thrown out of bounds after short yardage. The officials will spot it, looks like, at about the 36-yard line.
David Lee Smith last week had a great game. He has over 800 yards last year, 809, so we're going to see a lot from him tonight.
On the Daingerfield defensive front, the ends are Barber and Alexander. The tackles, Traylor and Askew. Linebackers tonight, Joe Bob Thompson, Kevin Jennings, and Terry Lee. And in the backfield at the corners, Jeremy Long and Ty Wells, and the safeties, Dexter Key and Philip Hull. 2nd down, 6 for the Buckeyes at the 36 of Daingerfield. Second play from scrimmage. This is Hill back to pass, looking downfield, has a man, completes it, and a great reception there after bobbling it. Larry Tennyson came up with it and picks up good yardage. The officials will spot it at about the 16-yard line.
Key can hum that football. Watch as he sets up excellent position by the offensive line. Key pulls the trigger on one that's complete. Oh, what a catch. Larry Tennyson made a beautiful catch, almost dropped it. Good enough for a first down, and the Gilmer Buckeyes are marching here in Daingerfield, Texas.
That's Dalen Hill, who's the quarterback for Gilmer, with the pass completion on his first attempt of the ball game at the 16-yard line is where the Buckeyes will find themselves with 9:20 to go, threatening here on their first possession. And the handoff faked, and Hill keeps it now, pitches wide, and able to come up with the ball and pick up some yardage is David Lee Smith around the left side, getting down close to the 10-yard line, where he stopped after a pickup of about 6 yards.
Well, the Gilmer Buckeyes are marching. That pass play went for 21 yards. Tack another 6 or 8 on it there as the Gilmer Buckeyes own the pigskin down in Daingerfield's territory, and they're marching within the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal.
Let's call it 2nd and 3, Buzz, at the 9-yard line.
Well, that's close. Good guess.
2nd and 3 at the 9.
If you don't know, make it up, Sid. That's what. Go ahead.
This is Gardner, and Gardner going all the way. We got a flag down as Rico Gardner, the 160-pound sophomore, found a seam right up the middle, took the handoff, but we got a flag, and let's see what the call is here.
Boy, that misdirection play was beautiful. It worked well for the touchdown. However, it looks like the infraction of the rule will be assessed against the Gilmer Buckeyes, nullifying that touchdown.
Maybe that's why it worked so well.
I guess so.
Here's Rico Gardner, good blocking right up the interior, and he goes all the way, but the late flag, you saw it come flying into your screen, will put the Buckeyes back 5 yards, back at about the 14-yard line is where they should mark it, and give them a second down, and they'll be faced with about 8 at the 14.
You know, the help wanted sign is out for the Gilmer offensive line. They graduated not only last year all of their starting offensive line, but also graduated every one of their backups. So all these young men playing on the offensive line for the Buckeyes are first timers, but so far in this ball game, they've done a super duper job.
Well, that's the first 3-yard penalty I've ever seen, but they mark it at the 12 instead of the 14. Second down and about 7 at that point. This is Hill down the line, hands off to Smith, the first man through, gets it inside the 10, down to about the line of scrimmage on the previous play, at about the 9-yard line. And we got a big 3rd and 3 coming up for the Buckeyes.
Very unusual. A couple of tailbacks are both named David Smith. Number 2 is David Lee Smith, and David Smith is number 30. Both will see some action, so they call David Lee Smith number 2, David Lee, to get him where he won't be confused with David Smith, who is number 30. Did you understand that, Sid? I didn't explain it to you.
No, I didn't,
Okay.
as a matter of fact. But
it doesn't make a green bean. Let's play some football, Sid.
we'll see what happens here on 3rd down and 3 now. Dalen Hill, the quarterback, setbacks behind him. Fake handoff. Hill's going to keep it inside the 10, gets down near the first down yardage, down at about the 5-yard line. I think he picked it up. We'll see as they unstack them at about the 5-yard line. It is a first down, so Gilmer keeps the drive alive despite the 5-yard procedure penalty a couple of plays ago. And the Buckeyes have first and goal at the 4.
Well, the Buckeyes set up with good field position on this drive, and they continue to sustain their momentum with those first downs and gaining the yardage on the ground, keeping control of that football and moving ever so much closer to pay dirt.
At the 4-yard line, Dalen Hill, the quarterback, he's a 180-pound senior, has the Buckeyes up to the line of scrimmage as they threaten on their first series of downs. Pitch back coming around the right side. Rico Gardner trying to turn the corner. He's into the end zone. And the first touchdown of the ball game, capping a 39-yard drive. And the Gilmer Buckeyes have taken a 6-0 lead.
Watch this blocking. If we see this touchdown run, unbelievable blocking. Those front men there on the Gilmer team, the down linemen, simply moved a student body left kind of, right kind of situation. They pull back, throw the ball to the trailing running back who has all the protection in the world, and as a matter of fact goes into the end zone unaccosted. Swinging gate here.
This is Adam Dugan, a sophomore who saw his first action last week as the place kicker for the Buckeyes, and he's on to attempt the point after out of the hold of Hill. Ball is down, kick is up, and it's good. So the Gilmer Buckeyes drawing first blood with good field position on that drive, starting at the 39 of Daingerfield and taking it all the way in with 7:41 left as we take a look once again at this scoring play and watch the sweep to the right and a lot of speed from Rico Gardner.
Rico Gardner can move, and when he gets those blockers in front of him, it's gone. It's touchdown. By the way, that drive took 39 yards on 7 plays. What a drive. The Gilmer Buckeyes go on the scoreboard first.
Gardner, by the way, had 2 touchdowns last week in the victory over Jefferson, so he's kind of on a touchdown binge here in the last couple of games and has given Gilmer the first lead of the ball game. 7:41 left here in the first period.
We talked with both of the coaches of these teams before the game, Sid Allen and myself, and both coaches say this is a very important football game because of the ramifications in the district. These probably are the two biggest contenders, even though there's great talent throughout this district. This could have an important bearing tonight on the district title race. So both teams are sky high. Gilmer gets on the scoreboard first, and don't mark Daingerfield out. They can move that ball also offensively when they have possession.
You're looking at Dalen Hill, the quarterback, who kicks it off barefooted, as you can see. And the deep backs for the Tigers, you see there is Jeremy Long, number 11. Number 33 at the bottom of your screen is Ty Wells. And at the top of the screen, who you don't see right now, is Eric Collins. So 3 deep backs for Daingerfield to receive this kickoff. The second time the Buckeyes have kicked it off tonight. And this one following the opening touchdown of the ball game. And Hill gets the kick away, sailing to the far side of the field. This is Collins at the 4-yard line, going up the right side across the 20. Has a little bit of running room, but wrestled down on the far side of the field at about the 23-yard line is where it looks like they'll spot it. So that's where the Tigers will put it in play for their second possession of the ball game.
That was a good run back there on behalf of Collins. He got the ball headed for the sideline, had some blockers in front, but watch, you'll see one of these Daingerfield Tigers burst onto the scene and simply take him out of bounds. A good play by number 10 for the Gilmer Buckeyes. That will be Will Farrell defensively.
Will Farrell is their starting strong safety, so he remains in the ball game, a 145-pound junior. And you've got those 2 good running backs, Nigel Traylor and Duke Favors, behind quarterback Key, and this is the spin and the handoff to Favors. Big hole. Favors trying to get outside. He does. Got a lot of running room across the 40, the 45, and wrestled down at about the 47-yard line. Pickup of some 22, 23 yards on the play for Duke Favors, and a first down for the Tigers.
Woo, what a run. Duke Favors was moving on like Hank Snow. He was moving on. You know, before the game we talked to him about Duke Favors, and they said one man cannot stop Duke Favors, and that play just proved it. It takes 2, 3, 4 men as all those Gilmer Buckeyes were bouncing off of Favors. That play went for 25 yards.
47-yard line is where the Tigers will put it in play, so they get themselves out of an early field position hole with that run by Duke Favors of 25 yards. Key, the quarterback, with a man in motion to the near side, looks to pass, throws across the field, completes it at the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. Number 5, Kylie Barton, making the catch that time, and a good pass play, mixing it up a little bit. Larry Key to Kylie Barton. Watch as Barton just makes this little slant in here. Top of your screen.
Key simply stands up, sets up 1 step back, and pulls on the slant to the receiver. His flanker coming across the middle there. Good pass, good play. One of those quick passes. Those are hard to defend. As soon as the ball is snapped a step or 2 back, wham, there's a pass. Hard to defend against a pass like that.
2nd and 1 at the 44 of Gilmer. First possession inside Gilmer territory, and this is Favors picking up the first down at about the 42-yard line. So Daingerfield on the move here with 2 quick first downs following the Gilmer touchdown. The Tigers have advanced the ball to the 42-yard line, and there you see Duke Favors, who's going to get a lot of calls and a lot of yards before this game's over.
Credit Paul Dodd for jamming up the middle on that particular play for the Gilmer Buckeyes. Paul Dodd, good defensive work for the Gilmer Buckeyes.
This time, split receivers on the near side of the field, 2 of them for the Tigers, and now Collins goes in motion to the far side. Eye in the backfield behind Key, and the handoff is to Traylor. And the fullback Traylor gets it inside the 40 down to about the 38. So he picked up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 as we wind down to the 6-minute mark of the first period.
That was Todd Ford. Todd Ford defensively for the Gilmer Buckeyes. This Nigel Taylor is a hard runner. Even if he's hit about the line of scrimmage, he'll continue to move. Watch this. He gets just about the line of scrimmage. There's 1, 2, 3 Gilmer Buckeyes on him, but he continues to grind and just absolutely bull that yardage out. He's quite a runner, strength and determination.
At the 38, this time ends are split on both sides of the field as Larry Key, the quarterback, has his team up to the line of scrimmage, gives off to Favors, little hole on the right side, and Favors skips down to about the 35-yard line where the Tigers will come up 3rd and 3.
You know, in watching the Daingerfield Tigers over the years, this is their kind of football. They are a ball control type offense. They're telling you, we're coming at you, we're going to run it right at you, here we come, and try to stop us. And so far over the years, there's been few teams that have been capable of stopping this powerful Daingerfield machine.
3rd and 4 as the officials spotted at the 36-yard line. So a big 3rd down play on this drive. 2 first downs thus far by Daingerfield on this drive, and we'll see if they can keep it alive here on this 3rd and 4 as Key with the long count turns, gives it to Favors, nothing doing. Duke Favors couldn't go as David Lee Smith, the middle linebacker, came up and put the clincher on him. Smith, a 180-pound sophomore, stops Favors for a 1-yard loss. Watch this play.
All right, David Lee there beats his man. Look at him. He shoots the gap. He controls the gap, beats his man, and is in the backfield just about the time that Daingerfield got the football. Good defensive stance by the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Going to bring Eric Collins on. Eric Collins, we watched him in pregame, can really boot the ball on field goals, but he's moving against the wind a little bit here, and they're going to punt it away. He's standing at midfield to get this one away. 4th and 7. High snap. Collins going for the near side corner. Looks like he's got a good one as it bounds inside the 10.
Woo!
And out of bounds at the 4-yard line is where they spot it. So excellent punt that time by Eric Collins. And with 3:57 to go here in the first period, it's Gilmer 7 and Daingerfield nothing. Well, the Gilmer Buckeyes with a 7-0 lead here in the first period, but find themselves in an offensive field position hole here. First down from their own 4-yard line following that great punt by Eric Collins, and David Lee Smith getting the call and going nowhere. Maybe a yard up to the 5. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Buckeyes.
That was, looks like Keon Ellison. Ellison simply jammed up the works in the middle of the defensive line there, would not let any penetration at all, so it goes all for 0 as the Daingerfield Tigers hold on that play. We're in dangerous territory down here, and like Sid said, they have dug themselves a hole near their own goal line.
Or we should say maybe Daingerfield dug it for them on 2nd down and 9 at the 5-yard line. Dalen Hill, quarterback with split backs, fakes to the first man going around the right side or left side, and Hill gets it up across the 10 to about the 11. So good smart play by Dalen Hill, the quarterback, picking up about 6 yards, wedging it out, getting it out of the shadow of that goal line, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down as the officials spotted at the 9-yard line. 3rd down and about 5.
Well, I think Hill was very wise in keeping that ball. He had his trailing back behind him where he might option, but down in this end of the field when you're near your own goal line, the less you can have that ball exchanged between players, the safer you are. A wise choice to keep it and turn up field for a few yards there.
3rd down. Buckeyes need to get to just about their 14-yard line. They're at their 9 on this 3rd down play, and this is Hill looking to pass over the middle. Has a man for a 1st down at the far side at the 18-yard line. That's Adam Teftiller, 170-pound senior, who ran an interception back for a touchdown last week. Pulls down a big reception here that gives the Buckeyes a 1st down.
Well, if you can't watch Adam Taylor, he runs a beautiful route on this one. Down and then turns in. He beat his receiver there. He came back for the ball. It's so important, and it's very difficult for high school players to realize when their quarterback's back there, come back for the ball. He came back, beat his man, caught the pass, 1st down. Good play.
At the 18-yard line, following the completion from Hill to Teftiller. Hill, the quarterback now, and this time the pitch back is to Rico Gardner around the right side, finding some running room outside across the 25-30. He's loose at the 35, the 40, and finally run out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Rico Gardner turning on some speed and picking up a 1st down for the Buckeyes as the officials will spot it at the 43-yard line. Watch the speed from Rico Gardner. Good block that time from David Lee Smith.
He's got the moves. He simply stiff arms one of those Daingerfield Tigers out of the way. Then he turns on the afterburner, heads upfield, skirting the outside boundary there. But he's able to move upfield to just about the 43, 44-yard line, 45, somewhere in that area. Take a guess, Sid, but it looked like a great run to me.
You got to mention that we don't have these single-yard markers here.
Oh,
so
thank you. Thank you for telling.
Got a little guesswork going on here. This is Rico once again, and Rico Gardner getting across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Picked up 2 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 8 as we wind down. 1:50 left in the first period. Gilmer on top of Daingerfield here, 7-0.
Been going to night school, Sid, but when you have just 1 or 2 marker and it gets over 5 and over 10 and I run out of fingers and toes, I'm in trouble, brother.
Now tell the truth. You said before the game you didn't even know that those yard stripes were missing.
Well, we don't want to talk about that, Sid.
But they are. We don't have the single yard marker, so it's a little bit difficult, but we'll make do at the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 8 as Dalen Hill, the quarterback with split backs, gives it off to Gardner. Big hole up the middle, and Gardner into Daingerfield territory at the 47-yard line of the Tigers. So Rico Gardner having a big first period. Looks like he's picked up another first down as they spot at the 46. Watch his big hole up the middle.
Yeah, watch the motion. All the motion is going to the left. And when the motion goes to the left, throws the secondary off, then here comes Rico down the middle. Boy, that guy can really run that football. But we credit Daingerfield and the motion to the right, pulling the guards, making the Daingerfield Tigers look like the action was over there, opening the hole down the middle. Good football, good offensive move.
Good blocking up front by Brian Light, who's the center for the Gilmer Buckeyes. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. And the running play faked, and now the long looping pass, but far past Josh Garrett, the tight end, who was streaking downfield. Dalen Hill just simply overshot him that time. It'll be 2nd and 10.
By the way, the Coach Bush wanted to pass a little bit tonight. He says he'd like to pass more because the front 7 of Daingerfield is hard to run on. And he feels like if he can pass a little bit more than usual, that might open his running game up a little bit more. And so far, this strategy has been working as he's mixing up his plays, running both the pass and the run, and they augment each other. They complement each other, if you know what I'm saying, Sid. If you don't, I don't either. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if I know what you're saying or not, but we'll go 2nd and 10 anyway from the 46. This is Dalen Hill around left side, pitches back, and good running room down to about the 40-yard line. I believe that was David Smith, not David Lee Smith, but David Smith, who's coming to the ball game and gets his first carry down to the 40, picks up about 6 yards. He's a pretty speedy guy, too.
Fake to the first man through. The action goes to the left. The pitch out on the option to David Smith. He turns the corner, able to get into the secondary before, wow, he's hit after a short gain on the play, bringing up a 3rd down.
It's going to be 3rd and a long 4, and I don't know if we'll get this one off or not as we're down to about 10 seconds. They don't have to get it off before the play clock would run down, but we'll see. On 3rd down, Hill back to pass. Looking on the near side, has it knocked down as number 75 for Daingerfield coming up with the play. Joe Bob Thompson knocked it down on the last play of the first period. So that's the end of the first period here from Daingerfield. Our score, the Gilmer Buckeyes 7, the Daingerfield Tigers nothing. Seven nothing Gilmer over Daingerfield as we get set to start the second period of action here from Daingerfield. Sid Allen and Buzz Long, and there is your what we would call your traditional moon shot.
Moon, blue moon, or do you want moon over Miami? Moon over Daingerfield. In a beautiful mood. Golly gee, what a night for football here in East Texas. No applause for the singing. Please, Sid, contain yourself.
Dalen Hill getting the snap back, getting the kick away, trying to bottle the Tigers up, and he's going to do a pretty good job of it as the Buckeyes will down it at about the 16-yard line. That was singing, huh?
Now, Sid, please don't say, what did you do with the money your mother gave you for singing lessons? You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
Nah,
you're a good guy. I don't care what they say, Sid Allen. Boy, what a ball game tonight. I like these close ones, you know. 11:56 to go in the half. Two teams competitive. a district championship could be fought out tonight. Who knows? It's just a real good game, and I'm enjoying it in the beautiful moon over Daingerfield.
We've got a good crowd here on hand. A good group of Gilmer Buckeye fans have driven about the 45-minute drive it is from Gilmer to be here tonight, and their stands are full on the far side. And we got an excellent turnout, as you might expect from Daingerfield tonight too. So everybody's here, and it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 15-yard line as Favors trying to go outside, nowhere to go, as Josh Garrett came up from his defensive end position and dropped Duke Favors for about a 2-yard loss.
Boy, that was a beautiful defensive play.
Watch Josh Garrett, number 5.
He's in the backfield. He was absolutely reading the Daingerfield mail at that time. Nothing could break because he was in there to jam the works before the play materialized. Just a fine effort on behalf of the Gilmer Buckeyes defensively.
So far, Daingerfield's found the going tough. They picked up a couple of first downs on that last series, but just haven't been able to do a whole lot, and now they're faced with a 2nd down at about 13 as the ball is spotted at their own 12.5-yard line. Larry Key, quarterback, hands it off to Favors. Here's a good hole, and Favors cuts it across the 20 and gets it up to about the 22-yard line. Following his blocking nicely that time, Duke Favors picking up almost 10 yards.
This Favors can absolutely run the ball. Look at the holes. Look at there. He has got a hole open. A guy in front of him. Beautiful block by number 72. Catch his name there, Sid. Hey, that's running it. And above all is smart running. Smart running with some great blocks.
Brian McGill and Scott Foster were the 2 men opening up that hole that time for Duke Favors. And this brings up a 3rd and 5 for the Tigers just across their 20-yard line. They need to get it up to about the 26 for a first down. They've got an eye in the backfield, and Key rifles it out, and let's see, the officials say no, he trapped the ball on the far side. Kylie Barton couldn't bring that one in, and it's going to bring up a 4th down for the Tigers. Let's watch this one closely and see. Oh, the ball's tipped right at the line of scrimmage, and Kylie Barton just couldn't come up with it.
Well, that was the determining factor over which that play would be complete or incomplete, with the ball being tipped up there at the line of scrimmage. One of the Daingerfield Tigers got their hand high in the air, tipped it, consequently knocked the ball off its path. It falls incomplete.
Now let's watch this kicker here, Eric Collins. He can really boom him now. Probably jinxed him, but we'll see what he can do here. Gets a good snap. No, he rifles this one. Good kick, backs the receiver all the way up to the 39. It's Favors. He picks it up, cuts it upfield, and gets it to the 45-yard line. But good kick that time by Eric Collins. Still good field position, though, for the Buckeyes. They'll put it in play at their own 45-yard line. They've really had good field position in this ball game. And watch Favors. A couple of anxious moments here for Buckeye fans, but he finally picks up the good bounce and is able to pick up a few yards with it.
There's good pursuit on behalf of number 50 for the Daingerfield Tigers. That's Mark McCoy. He was down to make sure that the forward progress came to a halt on the 45-yard line for the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Here's the quarterback, Dalen Hill, at the 45-yard line, moving down the left side of the line, cuts it upfield across midfield, has some running room, and down to about the 46 of Daingerfield, so a pickup of about 9 yards that time on a good option play, good smart run by quarterback Dalen Hill. Watch the cut here as he decides to keep it and pick up the yardage.
Makes an excellent cut inside. Finally, number 75, big number 75 there, is there to trotch on him. Listen to this name. This is a football name. Joe Bob. Joe Bob Thomas makes the tackle. I love that name. That's a good old East Texas football name.
I'd say it might be a football name, but probably not a football name up in New Jersey, would you say?
Hey, you talk about a Joe Bob. What do you mean, a man? You guys.
2nd down and 2, let's call it, for Gilmer at the 47. And Hill, the quarterback, keeps for the first down, it looks like, across the 45. I think he picked it up as he just kept it across the right side behind his right guard for the first down.
Well, that was individual determination. He was stopped just about the line of scrimmage, spun briefly, and got that maybe first down. It's going to be ever so close, and the official indicates, yes, it is a first down.
Clock's stopped with the first down, but now it's rolling again at 9:15 to go in the first half. It's really been all Gilmer here in the first half, and the Buckeyes are on the move again. This time they've split a wide receiver, Larry Tennyson, to the near side of the field. Rest of the set is in tight, and the quarterback, Hands off to Smith. David Lee Smith. Good cut to the outside, and Smith is loose across the 30 down to the 28. Boy, if we get this one on replay, you're going to see a good cut. Good smart run that time by David Lee Smith, the 180-pound sophomore. Just when it looked like he was going to go inside, watch him cut it to the outside and fools everybody right here.
Look at that step. Look, that was a beautiful cut, like Sid Allen said. Turned it to the outside, and if it wasn't for Joe Bob Thompson, he may have been long gone San Antonio. That run is good for 17 yards.
At the 30-yard line is where they're going to spot it, so 1st and 10 for Gilmer on this drive, as the Buckeyes have really piled up some yardage here in the early going of this one, and they're driving again with the first down as Dalen Hill brings his troops to the line of scrimmage in split to the near side of the field. This is Smith around the right side. Good blocking across the 25 and down to the 24-yard line. David Lee Smith with another good run. Pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Well, this football you're seeing tonight is indicative of the type of offense you see here in the Piney Woods of East Texas. That was a student body right kind of a situation as the sweep goes to the right, the pitch out, and 4 or 5 blockers in front of you. You guard, you tackle everybody but the water boy.
Well, even the quarterback.
Even the quarterback blocks.
Dalen Hill, I don't know that he actually hit anybody, but he was sure moving in that direction.
That's ball control. That's this type of offense made Gilmer famous. Also, Daingerfield won many state championships off of that type ball control offense.
2nd down and 4 at the 24-yard line. This time the handoff is to the second man. This is just plain old David Smith, not David Lee Smith. And David Smith picks up some good yardage on the right side of the line. In fact, he's got first down yardage at the 17-yard line.
Well, looks like there's an injury on the field over there. One of those Gilmer Buckeyes is over there. That's a beautiful hole. Beautiful hole. The linemen are doing excessively well. And once David Smith gets into that secondary, he does a little jitterbugging there for another 3 or 4 yards. But the key to that run was the beautiful hole that the line opened for Smith as he went down the field and gained substantial yardage on that play.
Well, we've got an injured player on the field, so why don't we take a timeout here with 7 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first half. Our score, Gilmer 7, Daingerfield nothing. We'll be back after this. I believe it was David Smith who carried the ball on that last play that they carried off, but he looks like he's all right on the far side of the field. 1st and 10. This is Hill looking over the middle, throwing it in behind his intended receiver, Adam Teftiller. Teftiller was moving across the middle of the field. Looked like he was open, but Dalen Hill threw it behind him, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, there was tremendous pressure that was put on Dalen Hill as he sets up here, fakes to the first man through, sets up. Here come a couple of those young men from Daingerfield in on him, and the rush kind of interrupted the forward progress of that pass. Consequently, it does fall for goose egg, no yardage, incomplete.
Looked like Ty Wells was back defending. Good defensive play, too, as he really had Teftiller covered pretty well, actually. 2nd down and 10. This time, the quick handoff up the middle, and some hard running as David Lee Smith, tough run that time, hard to bring down, and picks up good yardage down near the first down yardage. Watch this run, just some tough running up in front by David Lee Smith here.
Little crossing action in the backfield, the misdirection play, which froze the line there. That gave David Lee Smith the opportunity to move through that hole, move into the secondary, and once he got into the secondary, it was Katie barred the doors. He added another 2 or 3 yards and fine, tough running. These Gilmer Buckeyes are marching with the football. Gilmer Buckeyes have control right now.
We're gonna watch this replay once again and watch some of the faking that goes on here as the quarterback hands off, and
you notice he handed off to the first man through and carried out his fake like he was going to run the sweep around the left and moved his fullback to his left, but that's just good ball maneuvering. They've got their act down good tonight as the Gilmer Buckeyes are handling the football in a very, very exciting way.
So we're coming up now on a 1st and goal, as that yardage was good enough for the first down, as Dalen Hill has the team up to the line of scrimmage, and the pitch back coming to David Lee Smith, but hit in the backfield as Joe Bob Thompson, number 75, with a big hit, drops Smith for about a 2-yard loss.
By the way, Larry Tennyson also was in on that block, in on that tackle. We got word that Ty Wells was the young man from Daingerfield that was injured. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 33 for the Gilmer Buckeyes. And that young man will be Tim Ford, and we're glad that he's all right back up on the bench and moving around. So the injury we had a moment ago was not that substantial, thank goodness.
Second down and goal at the 9-yard line for the Buckeyes. Split backs and ends split all over the place on the far side of the field and the near side. And here's the pitch back. It's Rico Gardner trying to turn the corner. Gets down near the goal, and they're going to spot him at the 1-yard line. Rico Gardner just a half step from pay dirt that time. Going to bring up third down and probably less than a yard.
Well, watch this full house backfield as he fakes to the first man. Rico is trailing on the outside, and when Rico gets the ball, he can run. He simply steps out of the way of one of those intended tacklers from Daingerfield and adds another 3-4 after that initial hit there. He can run that ball. Gilmer Buckeyes, they're moving the pigskin tonight.
Rico is shaken up a little bit on the far side of the field as he went down in a heap, and we'll see as they help him up and are now helping him to the sideline. He is walking under his own power, so don't want to speculate, but looks like he'll probably be all right.
Is a heap anything like a bevy? Is that
it's like a pile, I think.
Like a pile, okay. It's similar to a bevy, I think.
I don't know about a bevy, but
you'll be all right, Sid. You're a good guy.
Third down now, third down and goal from right at the 1-yard line as the Buckeyes try and up it to a 2-touchdown lead. And Dalen Hill, they say yes. Close call, but they say Dalen Hill knows the football into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, he simply got behind his big center, number 51, Sean Eldridge, and bowled his way across the goal line. 6 points, the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Puts the Buckeyes up 13-0 with 5:51. Now watch this. They ran a 2-pointer off of this formation. If we can watch this, they've got all their players now coming to the middle of the field. But last week they ran a 2-point conversion using that formation. And now Adam Dugan looks like the more traditional extra point coming up. Ball is down. Dugan's kick, though, is going to sail wide to the left. Didn't hit it very good. Pulled it low and wide left, but still with 5:51 left in the first half, the Gilmer Buckeyes 2 TDs in the lead as we watch Dalen Hill go into the end zone with the 6-pointer.
That extra point, of course, anytime this early in the game you miss an extra point, it could be a big factor in this football game as the score now goes to 13-0. Gilmer Buckeyes, let's see if that.
You know, it won't be a big factor unless Daingerfield can score sometime.
Well, that's
tonight.
a very good point, and I'm glad you made that, Sid, because you're right on that particular thing. If they do come back, and if there is a 1-point difference, it could be this point that was missed right here. Very good point, well taken, and I think you should be commended for your excellent observation.
You
Do
know,
I get a star by my name tonight or what?
You know, the thing about this game so far is it's just been a game of field position.
Exactly.
Gilmer has really had some excellent field position throughout the first half, and Daingerfield hasn't had a whole lot to work with. When they've had the ball, they've had to start with long drives, and they just haven't been able to sustain them long enough. So we'll see after this kickoff what they can get going. Back deep, number 33 is going to be the deep man for the Tigers is Ty Wells. He'll be in the middle of your screen there. This is Eric Collins on the near side. There's Dalen Hill, who is a quarterback. He can really do a little bit of everything. He can also be a place kicker, but he's a quarterback. He's probably going to do some punting tonight if they ever need a punter.
Barefooted kicker. How about that? Tell you what, this game is a good one. 13-0. With 5:51 remaining in the first half of play, it could be anybody's ball game. Let's see what Daingerfield can do with that football.
Coming down to Ty Wells at the 1-yard line, moving to his right across the 10, the 15, has some blocking across the 30, and finally wrestled down as he gets up to the 35-yard line. Excellent return and some good blocking here on the near side of the field by the special teams of the Daingerfield Tigers, getting Wiles free for some yardage and some pretty good field position to start this drive.
I think it was Kevin Vasquez that finally brought down the Daingerfield Tigers, and he had his momentum built up across the 20-yard line, turns on the speed there, moves upfield, great broken field running, and finally Vasquez, assisted by a couple of those young men from Gilmer, bring him down. But it looks like the Daingerfield Tigers have the best field position probably they've had tonight to start out with.
At the 35-yard line is where Larry Key will bring the Tigers up to the line of scrimmage. One setback, and this is the man, Duke Favors, getting the call, and Favors trying, and finally they're going to blow the whistle at about the 39-yard line, so a pickup of about 4 yard lines. Favors still wanted to go, but the officials said no, and it's going to be 2nd and 6.
Watch Duke Favors. The Duke of Earl comes through that line. He's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. They bear hug him. They have a little dance there, a little square dance. He says, I'm going. You're not going to take me down. Let me go. And he continues to turn, and even when the play's over, he doesn't want to stop. Isn't that something?
What, the run or the description? I don't know what you're talking about.
You're too much tonight, Sid Al.
Second down and 6 coming up for the Tigers at the 39-yard line. This is Key rolling to his left. Rifles a good pass up to the 49-yard line. Going to be a first down as Kylie Barton got loose and pulls it in. 10-yard pass play and a first down for the Daingerfield Tigers.
You'll notice that quarterback Key runs away from the rush, goes out into the flats there to pass the ball, thus avoiding the rush. Hits his man down on the left-hand side of the flats about 10 yards down. A fine little pass, a low percentage pass, a good one. Good enough for a first down.
Good tight spiral that time by
betcha.
Larry Key, the senior quarterback, and a first down for the Tigers at the 4:40 mark here of the first half. In split on both sides of the field, but this is Favors getting the call across midfield and barely getting into Gilmer territory. Pickup of maybe 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down, and let's call it 8 for Daingerfield.
Well, that clock is running with 4:24 remaining in the first half, 4:23, 4:22, and counting, and it's going to take every bit of that, and it's the hope of the Daingerfield team that they can move those lines down and score before halftime. A ball control type of offense as they play with a lot of action on the ground does eat up that clock. 4 minutes and running left.
2nd down, a long 8 for the Tigers. This is Key rolling to his right, looking downfield, can't find a man, now throws it, and incomplete. Hit Barton, but it would have been a tough catch had Kylie Barton brought that in. And just as he was going down, the ball came in and sailed incomplete. Good effort that time by Kylie Barton to try and rescue the play, but he just couldn't bring it in.
Once again, the quarterback, he skirts out into the right flat to avoid the rush, sees his man open, pulls the string on one that was just a bit out of the reach of the intended receiver. A good try, though, a good try for the Daingerfield Tigers there.
This is an important 3rd down play now. The Tigers have been unable to sustain a drive, and this one will be 3rd down and a long 8 just inside Gilmer territory. Coach Brian McCamey wants a timeout and runs onto the field and finally gets one. So the Tigers are going to talk this one over, this 3rd and long 8 play. Buzz, who are our sponsors tonight?
Okay, we have the Video Zone, who we certainly appreciate. Of course, we have the Massey Brown Fox Skybox. Our friends at Massey Brown Sporting Goods that make the Fox Skybox. And I think you see it there, Sid. Wave your hand. No, it's too late. We're up in the Fox Skybox and the Video Zone, and we certainly appreciate these fine people, along with Todd TV and Appliance. Thanks a lot to our community-minded sponsors that are interested in our young people and participate with this broadcast as we go all across East Texas with the Fox 51 Game of the Week.
Next Friday, we're going to have a good one. You didn't see the blooper. Nobody saw the blooper. the Hillgore and Kenderson game.
That was beautiful. That's one for the Christmas party now, Sid. Beautiful.
But we do have one coming up next week that is really going to be a good one. 2 teams that are really ranked high in the state 4A standings. Henderson and Kilgore coming up from R.E. St. John Stadium in Kilgore. That's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one, Buzz. As we get back to play now, 3rd down and a long 8, just inside Gilmer territory. Daingerfield with the ball being chased. Quarterback Key is hit from behind just as he lets the ball go. They whistle it down as an incomplete pass, but boy, excellent pursuit that time by Daingerfield Tigers to foil that one, or by Gilmer Buckeyes, I should say.
Oh, they were churning. Key was running for dear life, and he didn't know it, but Paul Dodd was right behind him. Watch Dodd. It's just about the time Key brings his hand back to throw the ball. Wow, Dodd hit him. That's aggressive defensive effort on behalf of Dodd and the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Terry Hawkins is walking off a little bit slowly for Gilmer on the far side of the field, but it was Dodd and Hawkins, but Dodd was the one who really did the damage that time. As you get a look at Terry Hawkins, a 230-pound junior, walking off on the far side of the field, banged up just a little bit on that play. So once again, the Daingerfield Tigers coming up short as they put some first downs together, but then that Gilmer defense got tough, and now they're faced with a 4th down punt with 3:47 to go in the first half. Looks like Rico Gardner back in the single deep. There you see Rico Gardner. We've already seen a lot of Rico Gardner tonight. And a good kick. This is that Collins kid. And man, he airmails this one into the end zone. Eric Collins, what a leg that young man has. That one was still going as it got to the end zone.
He can flat punt that football. He has a golden toe. That'll set up the offense on the 20-yard line, and we'll see what happens with 3 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this first half of play. And Sid Allen, your play-by-play man at my side.
Already a 13-0 Gilmer lead, so I don't know what the Buckeyes will come up with here starting from their own 20, if they're going to choose to just try and run out the clock and chew up a little ground here, or if they're going to try and airmail it and see what happens. We'll see as their quarterback, Dalen Hill, brings a split backfield and in split on both sides of the field up to the line of scrimmage, and the handoff is to the first man through. This is David Lee Smith getting the call up to about the 23-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7, and now the clock runs at 3:30 left in the first half.
Well, looks like I said they're just going to try to run out this clock and go into the field house at halftime, up by 13-0, as we have a 3:21, 3:20 and counting in this ball game. Coach Bush said, though, he's going to throw the ball more tonight, so who knows? They're capable, as you've seen so far, in airing out the pigskin, so we may see some aerial action before this first half is over here.
This time, lone in split on the far side of the field is Kevin Vasquez. Rest of the T-in tight, and the split backs, and the handoff is to Rico Gardner. Almost got through there, but shoestring tackle brought him down at the 27-yard line after a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards that time for Rico Gardner.
Kevin Jennings was in there with that shoestring tackle, and if it wasn't for that, it could have been long gone.
Boy, he almost did it that time, but Rico stopped after about a 4-yard gain, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3 as we're inside of 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
You know, this has been a quick first half, hasn't it? To me, it has. Of course, when you're having fun, time flies, I guess, Sid.
3rd down for the Buckeyes. Dalen Hill hands it off to the first man through, and it's Rico Gardner, but he's going to be stopped short of that first down marker at about the 28-yard line, and it looks like the Buckeyes are going to have to punt it away for the first time tonight. And now we've got a timeout for Daingerfield, so they want to see what can happen here. With 2:02 left, they're going to get the ball back in probably fairly good field position, or they might try and go in and block it here.
Well, they have a desire to go into the locker room with some points on the board, erasing that big goose egg you see up now, so they stop the clock, run over to talk to the coach and see what they can kind of conjure up in the way of some offensive action as the game is winding down to halftime. By the way, don't forget, NFL on Fox. The NFL pregame is at 11 a.m. And this Sunday, it's the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. Noon kickoff. Post-game report after the game. That's immediately following the game. So don't miss the big one. It all starts at 11 o'clock on Fox 51 with the NFL pregame, and then the Green Bay Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. And our man is going to be on the sideline, isn't he? Our quarterback?
Our man.
Our man. You are a Dallas Cowboy.
Now, Troy Aikman is going to start, I heard today.
He is going to start.
He's going to start. He's,
I didn't know that. I thought he was going to rest a week. How about that? That should be interesting. I'm glad his injury wasn't any worse. Anyway, that'll be a great game this Sunday on Fox 51.
Dalen Hill is going to get his first punt away from about the 20-yard line. Gets a good snap. Kick is low, end over end, and fielding it at the 43, and some good return yardage across the 45-40, and down near the 35-yard line, Jeremy Long with the return, and that's just exactly what the Tigers wanted to have happen. It did. It sets them up with good first down. Well, actually, they're in field goal range. We saw that Eric Collins kick before the game. They're definitely in field goal range here as you watch Jeremy Long take the return here, Buzz.
Jeremy Long crosses the 50-yard line, goes over into the Buckeye end of the field, and like Sid said, he sets the Daingerfield Tigers up with excellent field position, and they have 1 minute and 51 seconds to try to get on that scoreboard, and you can believe they should play some time-conserving football now to utilize that full 1:51 remaining in the first half.
At the 36-yard line, Larry Key, the quarterback, straight back to pass on the drop back, throwing out into the flat. It's intercepted as number 8 for the Gilmer Buckeyes, Larry Tennyson, picks it off, and two men out there battling for the ball, and Larry Tennyson, the Buckeye, comes up with it at the 22-yard line. Watch here as Larry Key wings it out.
This is individual effort unusual as Tennyson goes up in the air and simply steals that football away from Daingerfield, and that will pretty well end this first half of activity unless the Gilmer Buckeyes will choose to use this 1:44 to try to get back on the scoreboard with more points, but probably they'll keep the ball on the ground, grind it out, and go into the locker room up 13-0 at halftime.
Going to try and catch a glimpse of both bands and drill teams at halftime if we can, so you fans want to stick around for that as quarterback Dalen Hill pitches back. This is Rico Gardner. He's loose. One man to beat. He's going to take it all the way. Rico Gardner at the 10, the 5, and touchdown.
Woo! What are you talking about?
78 yards, Rico Gardner. They're just trying to run out the clock. But
Yeah,
when you
famous last words, Buzz Long. They're just going to run out the clock. That was a beautiful run, Sid. I have never seen a finer run in high school football than that one that went for 78 yards. Rico Gardner, touchdown, Daingerfield.
Well, when he turned that corner out there, he just shifted into second, and
he was putting them up and putting them down.
Rico Gardner, I believe that's his second touchdown of the evening, if I'm not mistaken. And boy, he's a good-looking running back, a lot of speed, and now Gilmer is going to call a timeout because they're probably going to go for two here with a 19-0 lead. Let's see if we can see this one again and watch Rico Gardner. I think they're just not trying anything too fancy, but takes the pitch out here, gets some blocking on the right side of the line, and now it's turn on the afterburners, one man to beat, and watch this move right here, Buzz.
Yeah, he simply out-fakes number 33 for Daingerfield and turns on the speed. This is a speedy lad as he can move that football. Number 5 is in there. Credit him with slowing down the impetus of the pursuing Daingerfield Tiger as number 9, that is, as that's touchdown Gilmer Buckeyes. Rico Gardner, he can run. What a run. Beautiful. That's exciting. That's East Texas high school football at its very finest when you see a young man in the open field with speed like he has with contenders, breathing down his neck and able to outrun everyone and go into that end zone. I loved it.
That was Josh Garrett, number 5, with that screen block, showing some speed himself, getting downfield right behind Rico, and Josh Garrett doing the screen block on Nigel Traylor to free Rico Gardner those last couple of yards into the end zone. So with a minute 28 left here in the first half, and Gilmer now is going to go for a 2-point conversion perhaps to try and get that lead up to 21, 3 touchdowns.
Compensate for that missed extra point a moment ago, and they look like they're going to line up in a run formation to go for the 2. 1:28 remaining in the first half, 19-0 with the Gilmer Buckeyes over the Daingerfield Lions.
Dalen Hill has the Buckeyes up to the line of scrimmage as they go for the 2-pointer here down the line. Hands off to the fullback, but nothing doing as Larry Tennyson, who had come into the ball game to try that 2-pointer, could not go. And the Tigers have held with 1:28 to go on the two-point conversion, but it's still all Gilmer Buckeyes here in the first half as the Buckeyes have taken a 19-0 lead.
Here you see Dexter Key, too, who put on a tremendous effort along with a couple of his other blue-shirted Daingerfield Tigers to make sure that extra point attempt for two was unsuccessful. So with 1:28 remaining in the first half of play from Daingerfield, Texas, the score remains 19 for the Gilmer Buckeyes and 0 for the Tigers from Daingerfield.
Well, I don't know. I kind of thought that Daingerfield would have more control of this ball game, Buzz. But this has been all Gilmer in the first half, and starting out, it was all field position. Boy, when you see them break big plays like that, you kind of wonder if maybe Gilmer just doesn't have things going their way tonight.
I would say so, and a lot of that has to do with talent. Both of these teams are just full of talent, and it seems like with this great field position that has fallen in favor of the Gilmer Buckeyes and the momentum they're able to engender, that they have just been, Katie bar the door, hard to stop in this first half of play.
Dalen Hill, the quarterback, who's done such a fine job leading the offense, will kick it away again barefoot style for the Gilmer Buckeyes. And Ty Wells, I believe, yes, number 33, Ty Wells, is the setback in deep position, joined on either side by Eric Collins and Kylie Barton to receive the kick for Daingerfield, as we're down to 1:28 to go here in the first half, and the Buckeyes suddenly with a 19-0 lead to take into the locker room unless something miraculous happens here for Daingerfield.
By the way, we're going to talk to Philip Williams of the Longview News Journal for all of his fans across TV land. He'll be on at halftime.
Good kick coming down to Wells at the 7-yard line, gets it up across the 20, gets outside. Watch here across the 30, the 40. Couple of men to beat. He may go at midfield and down to the 48-yard line, so the Tigers will have a shot, and we'll come back to see what they can do with it, as with 1:18 left in the first half, it's Gilmer 19, Daingerfield nothing. Still time for the Daingerfield Tigers as they put it in play. 1st and 10 at the Gilmer 48-yard line. Quarterback hands off to Favors. Oh, what a hit. Number 2, David Lee Smith, who's done a good job at running back, and he put some stick-em on Duke Favors that time, as Favors had a full head of steam and looked like he had a lot of running room. And now we've got 2nd down and 8 at the 46-yard line.
What a hit
for the Tigers, and here's Key back to pass out in the flat and overshoots the intended receiver, number 9 for the Daingerfield Tigers, Dexter Key. It's going to be 3rd down now for the Tigers. Watch this hit on Duke Favors by David Lee Smith.
This is a big-time hit. Watch this. Wow! Right in the backfield. And, man, it simply knocks his feet out from under him. And that was a big-time pro hit there. Good defense. By the way, we'd like to credit Kevin Vasquez defensively. A moment ago on that run back, if it wasn't for Kevin Vasquez, these Daingerfield Tigers could have easily waltzed into the end zone. Good defensive effort. But the Daingerfield Tigers own the football with 54 seconds remaining in the first half of this encounter.
Here's another one of those big 3rd down plays that the Tigers have had a hard time converting. This one's 3rd and 7 at the 46, and this is Key looking downfield, throwing it complete to Kylie Barton inside the 35 down to the 33. It'll be a 1st down. Clock stops on the 1st down with 47 seconds left, so still time for the Tigers as they move the chains, and they're up to the line of scrimmage and ready to run another play as they get the chain set on the far side of the field.
Now the clock will stop when they move the chains if it's a 1st down. Other than that, an incomplete pass, or I don't know how many timeouts they have. That play went with 14 yards. The pass for 14 yards. Flag on the play.
Well, there's all kinds of motion that time, and this one in all likelihood is going to be stepped off against the Tigers.
By the way, we understand that there's only one timeout remaining for Daingerfield. That's why they're hustling.
Watch the pass play again, and Larry Key did a good job of zinging this one down, and Kylie Barton, who's been his favorite receiver here in the first half, was alone for this one.
Good pursuit by Gilmer, but quarterback simply moves into the flat to avoid the rush and pulls a frozen rope there that's complete. Well, the Daingerfield Tigers with 41 seconds. It looks like this may be their last timeout of the first half.
Kylie Barton's a good-looking receiver for a junior. He's brought in some good ones tonight, and that seems to be the favorite target for quarterback Larry Key. And unless the Tigers can get back into this ball game quickly, they're going to be throwing a lot before this one's over.
See, 41 seconds. Sid, what have we got? 2 passes, maybe 3?
Oh, I think we can get more than that in. We got 1st and 15 at the 43-yard line. Let's see if they tried to kick a field goal here. We'd be looking at about 56 yards, so that's right at Eric Collins' range. If we saw him correctly in the pregame, he was booming them from about 55 yards.
No
so
question.
They would probably take a shot at it from this distance if they had to, but they'd really like to move it on down a little bit closer. And, of course, if they could, they'd like to get it into the end zone.
Of course, if they do use the pass, it's very wise to keep it out of the middle of the field, throw for the sidelines where they can step out of bounds and stop that clock, because they're working not only against the Gilmer Buckeyes, but against the clock right now.
Second down, or first down, excuse me, after the penalty, 1st and 15. This is Key, back to pass, rolling to his right, looking downfield, wings it downfield, almost intercepted as Teftiller came across and had his hands on the ball and couldn't bring it in. So a bit of good luck that time for the Tigers will give them a second down opportunity.
Adam Teftiller had good position on his man, and that ball had interception red all over it. Here's the quarterback, Key, rolling out to the right. It's out in the right flat to pass. He sees his intended receiver down there, lets the pass go, and if you'll see Teftiller, he simply got in front of his man, had a good opportunity, but couldn't hold on to the pigskin.
Teftiller had a touchdown interception last week, so almost picked off another one there. This is Key, rolling to his right, looking downfield, has a man open, throws. It's Collins, and high off Collins' fingertips. He couldn't bring it in at the 25-yard line. So we're going to be looking at 3rd down and 15 with 34 seconds left in the first half.
Well, there was good pursuit on that play, so the rollout by quarterback Key got him out into the flat where he unleashed that pass to Eric Collins, just a bit tall. Eric went high in the air, but unable to bring the ball down for a completion, and the ball falls incomplete. Eric not able to get up there and keep that pigskin in his possession.
A little bit high and behind him, but Collins got his hands on it. It's going to be 3rd down now, 3rd and 15 at the 39-yard line. Tigers really need to pick up a couple of yards here for a realistic field goal shot. And Key looking downfield. This is Collins again, the intended receiver. And Key banged in too hard by David Lee Smith on the pass rush, getting up very slowly, as you see right there. David Lee Smith put a big wallop on him that time, and I don't think Coach Brian McCamey likes what happened too much, as you see him out talking to the referee.
I tell you, it was a vicious hit. And it caught Key by surprise. You know, he wasn't anticipating, just released the ball in the process of releasing. And wow, what a hit. These Gilmer Buckeyes are hitting hard tonight, I'll say that.
So we've got a 4th down, and let's see if they want to try it here with 29 seconds left. It would be a really monster field goal attempt, but we saw Collins hit some big ones in the pregame, and it'd be interesting to see if they want to try it here. I don't know. He's also their punter, so it's hard to tell at this point.
This would be what, Sid, about 45, 50?
Well, they are going to set it down at the 45. Going to be a 55-yard attempt.
55-yard attempt.
And this is exactly where we saw him in the pregame. He at least was getting enough leg into it. His accuracy wasn't quite there, but we'll see here, 55-yard attempt. And now we got a whistle and a delay of game, and this is going to put him out of field goal range.
Yeah, that'll spoil the works there. Take him out of field goal range, as there was too much time. The time clock had run out for the play there, so that'll probably put an end to this half for the Daingerfield Tigers.
29 seconds still showing. Gosh, I wish they wouldn't have called that so we could at least see that.
Oh, yes,
attempt.
I would have liked. You know, he's very capable. Sid and I were watching him in practice. He was very comfortable at 45 or 50 yards, and he was hitting some from 50, even hit one from 55 yards, and we were told that he had hit in practice up to 60 yards, believe it or not.
Well, he's a great punter, too. We've seen a couple of good punts, and so he's back. It's Eric Collins. A real high snap, brings it down, going to the near or the far side of the field, trying to get it out of bounds, and for the second time has got in the corner and put it out at about the 12-yard line this time. So another good punt by Eric Collins, but that's probably just going to put about the wraps on this first half with 21 seconds left. I'm sure we'll see the Buckeyes just run it out here, although with Rico Gardner in the backfield, who can say what will happen?
You never know. I had this halftime over about 10 minutes ago, and 6 or 7 points ago. Anything can happen when you have two great teams on the football field like Gilmer and Daingerfield, and it usually does happen. This is high school football at its very finest in the Piney Woods and Sandy Loams of beautiful Deep East Texas. That's my Chamber of Commerce line there, Sid.
Well, we've heard it in every town we've been in, so.
Well, wait a minute. It's a new audience every time. Sid, don't give my secrets here.
Here's Dalen Hill kneeling down. And the first half is going to come to an end here in Daingerfield. So, Buzz, a good first half of action, especially for the Gilmer Buckeyes as the clock winds down. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. It's going to run out here in a 19-0 lead for Gilmer here at the end of the first half. Real impressive first half of action for the Gilmer Buckeyes. I think you have to say field position was the big key for Gilmer in that first half.
Absolutely. They had the ball in an area where the advantage was clearly theirs because the field was much shorter from them. The score and field position has been a very important factor in this ball game. Both teams have been able to move the ball fairly well, but you combine the talent that Gilmer has along with the field position that they've gotten tonight, it makes it just tough. And it's 19-0 right now with the Gilmer Buckeyes up top. Well, Sid, while there's a little bit of break in the action, why don't we go back to the studio for some announcements, and we'll be back with more action at halftime from Daingerfield, Texas on Fox 51.
Sid Allen and Buzz Long back in Daingerfield as we get set to start the second half. Sorry we didn't get to see the drill team for Daingerfield, but wanted to show you as much halftime as we could, and they put on a good halftime performance, as did the Daingerfield band and the Gilmer band and the Gilmer drill team. And our hats off to all the young people who participated in that halftime show. But Buzz, we got to get back to football, and Daingerfield's got to do something to get back into it, but they're going to have to give up the ball here to begin the second half.
Here we go, Sid. Kickoff for the second half. Football.
High kick by Collins, coming down to Smith, who bobbles the ball at the 5, tries to pick it up, now heading up the middle of the field, and not much running room as David Lee Smith gets up to about the 15-yard line, and that's where Gilmer will put it in play. Now, Gilmer in the first half started out with some excellent field position, and now they're going to be bottled up just a little bit. So we'll see what the Daingerfield defense can come up with, as they've got them bottled up just a little bit.
Yeah, it's set on about, what is that, the 15-yard line? Where are they spotted exactly? The 15-yard line. So Gilmer won't have the advantage of that field position on this series of plays. And here they come out to start the second half with play-by-play. Here's Sid Allen.
Dalen Hill, 180-pound senior, has gone all the way at quarterback, immediately going to get 5 more yards tacked on to that poor field position, as it looked like the left tackle, perhaps Paul Dodd, may have jumped just a little bit, and the illegal procedure call will be stepped off against the Buckeyes. Back to the 9. Watch the left tackle here. I believe it was a left tackle, or perhaps, yeah, there it is.
There he is. He's offsides. A little early movement there. That is a 5-yard penalty. So we'll just start over. It'll be 1st and 15 this time, as 5 yards is assessed against the Gilmer Buckeyes.
Back at the 9-yard line now, so a real good opportunity here for the Daingerfield Tiger defense if they can hold. 1st and 15, the Buckeyes from their own 9 to start this series. Split end on the far side of the field, split backs, and the pitch back fumbled, but bounces right back up to David Lee Smith, and he is dropped back at the 5, and we got flags. A good break that time for Gilmer. When Smith fumbled the ball, it bounced right up into his hands, and now we've got a holding call that probably is going to be refused because there wouldn't be much penalty yardage tacked on here.
Looks like Gilmer's shooting themselves in the foot as they open up the second half apply. By the way, that was Dexter Key, who was in the backfield there to throw the Buckeyes for a loss. The penalty is refused, and you'll see the pitch back. See him bobble the ball. Boy, that's dangerous when you're near your own end zone. And there's Daingerfield all over him. Because there's a loss on the play, they choose the play instead of the penalty.
So it's back to the 8-yard line, a yard loss on the play. And
Buckeyes have to get all the way out to their 25, so it's 2nd and 17 when they get up to the line of scrimmage, as we're just underway here in the third period. Gilmer on top of Daingerfield by a score of 19-0, but Tiger fans sensing a little turn of events here to open the third quarter. Hill back to pass. Good pass rush. Deep down the middle. Intercepted at the 27-yard line. And returning it is Dexter Key. So a big break for Daingerfield to get the third period underway, as the pass is intercepted by Dexter Key and returned to the 17-yard line is where they'll spot it.
Kevin Vasquez made the stop. If it was not for Vasquez, that might have been 6 points for the Daingerfield Tigers as they intercept this pass, own the football, and marching in Gilmer's end of the field. The pass
just a little bit too tall and too far out in front of the intended receiver, and Dexter Key there to make the interception for the Tigers. So we'll see what they can do with it. Their best field position by far to begin a drive, as they started at the 17 of Gilmer, 1st and 10 with 11:15 to go in the third period. Larry Key, the quarterback, has the Tigers up to the line of scrimmage. Trailer and Favors the setback in the I formation, and this is Duke Favors around the right side, has some blocking inside the 20 down near the 10-yard line. Duke Favors stopped at the 12, they'll spot it. So a gain of about 5 or 6 yards on that play. It'll be 2nd down and short yardage.
This is Daingerfield football, pitching deep. Key to the man in the I formation. That's Favors, Duke Favors. He hits over the right gap there between the guard and tackle, puts his head down and turns forward for substantial yardage. That's nothing else but a student body repped, right, hard-nosed run, Daingerfield.
2nd down and about 4 for the Tigers at about the 12-yard line. This is Trailer, big hole up the middle, and Trailer across the 5 into the end zone, touchdown. Trailer, Nigel Trailer, senior running back, with a big hole up the middle, and got past the lone man that was in his way, just bowled him over and went in from 12 yards out for the touchdown. And the first score of the night for the Daingerfield Tigers makes it a 19-6 ball game, with the point after from Eric Collins to come.
Well, this big Nigel Taylor, a senior running back, can run that football. When he gets it, he turns on the afterburners and goes for the end zone. Smell touchdown, and that one was 6. Looks like the Daingerfield Tigers will go for the 1 to make 7-13, 19 and get in this football game.
Eric Collins for the point after. Ball is down, kick is up and good. And the Daingerfield Tigers, taking advantage of a pass interception by Dexter Key, have driven it in for their first score of the ball game. And here is the run by Nigel Trailer. And look at him bowl over that last Gilmer Buckeye and going into the end zone for the 6-pointer that makes it a 12-point game, with the Buckeyes still on top, but the momentum definitely shifting here to start the third period.
You know, Sid, we've talked about this before. You can absolutely feel that momentum. And when the Daingerfield Tigers came out of the locker room, Mr. Moe was on their side as they go into the end zone and score. By the way, the drive went for 18 yards on 3 plays, and 7-19 the score early in the third quarter of play, and this is a ball game once again.
So we'll see a big series of downs coming up for both teams following this kickoff, and we'll see just how far that momentum can take the Daingerfield Tigers as they've brought it back closer. And Gilmer now, I think, senses that momentum and will need to get a drive underway of its own here.
This is a weird call, but wouldn't it be a heck of a time for an onside kick? Who knows? I doubt it, but it would be a good time since momentum is on your side. Let's see if Daingerfield will kick it away or try something sneaky here.
Well, this is Eric Collins, that young man we were telling you about that has the strong leg, and if he kicks it away, he'll boom it good. David Lee Smith along with Rico Gardner back deep for Gilmer, and the kick is away, and It is a high boomer coming down right at the 1-yard line. This is Rico Gardner getting around the right side, and he's going to be stopped back at about the 19-yard line. So again, some pretty poor field position for the Gilmer Buckeyes to begin their second series of downs, and another important series for the Daingerfield defense.
Credit Terry Lee, number 44, for Daingerfield with a tremendous tackle defensively as he pursued down the field. Great coverage, and consequently the Gilmer Buckeyes will open up in their end of the field with, once again in this third quarter, not that good of field position.
That was Brian McCamey, who you saw there momentarily, the head coach of the Daingerfield Tigers. His third season here at the helm. 1st and 10, Dalen Hill has the Buckeyes up to the line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line. Gives off to the first man through. No, he keeps it around the right side. This is Hill with good running room. Now he fumbles, and Daingerfield has it. Terry Lee, the sophomore, ball shot up in the air, and Terry Lee came up with it for the Tigers, and the second turnover in as many series has set the Tigers up now at the Gilmer 39-yard line.
You absolutely cannot say that these young men from Daingerfield are out of this game. They're like lightning that has struck twice in a row. Look, here's the fumble. Watch it. The ball is stripped loose from number 14, goes in the air and recovered by Daingerfield as lightning strikes 2 times early in the third quarter play. And here they go from the 40-yard line, owning that football.
Credit Joe Bob Thompson, number 75, linebacker for Daingerfield, with popping that ball loose, and then Terry Lee came up with the loose ball and sets the Tigers up. They spot it right at the 40-yard line. This is the handoff to Favors, and Favors just straight ahead picks up about 3 yards down to the 37-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 with 10 minutes left to go here in the third period.
Well, that Gilmer secondary closed quickly. Favors was over the line of scrimmage, but he was only a couple of feet deep in the secondary when wow, here come the Gilmer Buckeyes. The secondary closed real well. The linebackers there filled the gap and made that play only a short gainer.
Duke Favors and Nigel Traylor are the setbacks in the eye behind quarterback Larry Key for the Tigers on this 2nd and 7, and the handoff is to Traylor, the first man through, and short yardage, and the Buckeyes stack it up real well after only about a yard gain for Nigel Traylor. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
Nigel tried to go over his left guard. Traylor couldn't trail anywhere on that one as the Gilmer Buckeyes threw up a stone wall to stop his forward progress, thus bringing up a 3rd down.
This is where Daingerfield has had trouble all evening long. They've had a couple of key 3rd down plays that they couldn't convert, and this is another one on 3rd and 6 at the Gilmer 36-yard line. So we'll see if that momentum has shifted enough to allow them to convert a big 3rd down play here. 3rd and 6 at the 36. End split on the near side of the field, and a man in motion is Eric Collins as the quarterback Key goes back to pass, loops it out, intended for Collins at the 30-yard line. It falls incomplete. So 4th down, and we'll see what the Tigers want to do here. They are probably within the range of Collins, but I don't know if they want to risk it for the field position at this point.
Well, is there the possibility, due to the fact that they're down in this game, and if they don't make the 1st down, the Buckeyes will have respectable field position, but not great. They may go for it, but no, it looks like they're sending in their special teams here, and they're going to kick it away, it looks like.
Well, Collins has kicked some good ones deep down into Gilmer territory, so I think that's probably the smart play to try and bottle up the Buckeyes deep in their own territory. Good snap, and indeed he is going for the near side of the field, trying to get it into that corner, and it's caught at the 5-yard line by a Daingerfield Tiger, and an excellent play downfield for the Buckeyes by Terrence Harper, number 6. And that's where the Buckeyes will be forced to put it in play at their own 5-yard line.
You know, in this second half, this has been the problem with the Buckeyes have had very poor field position, thus kind of giving the momentum to their camp, and Daingerfield has been able, actually the momentum going the other way, and Daingerfield, when they get Gilmer in a trap kind of, they're just closing in on them and have caused two turnovers. Let's see at this point whether Gilmer can keep that ball, move it up the field, and do a little bit better than they have these first 2 series of the half.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers, and this is the running back. And David Lee Smith finds nowhere to go, only about a yard gain that time up to the 6-yard line. but 2 possessions, 2 turnovers here in the third period for the Buckeyes, and now they're backed up at their own 5-yard line to start this series, and after the 1-yard gain by Smith, it's going to be 2nd and 9 at the 6.
Well, this multiple I formation will give you a lot of looks, but simply a little crossing pattern there. A quick opener with some misdirection fooled nobody. Short gain on that play.
So let's see if Dalen Hill and his coach, Doug Bush, wants to air it out from deep down in their own territory on a possible passing down, 2nd and 6. Hill pitches back. This is Smith trying to go around the left side and knocked out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the stop, Dexter Key, who already has a pass interception here in the third period, put the big hit that time on David Lee Smith, and it's no gain.
Well, Key absolutely beat his blocker and got into the backfield and was able to make the tackle before anything could happen. Credit Tim Ford for a fine defensive play there too, assisting Key on that play.
3rd down and 9. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third period as the Buckeyes, unable to get out of their own territory, deep in their own territory here in the third period, already have 2 turnovers in the third period and a 3rd down, passing down perhaps. And Hill on the quarterback draw is going to keep it, but he's not going to go for much, about 2 yards. Is all that Dalen Hill can pick up, and it's going to bring up a 4th down punting situation for the Buckeyes from deep in their own territory.
Well, that quarterback draw would be a play that possibly they hope Daingerfield would bite on and pursue with their interior rushers, and then the quarterback Hill could outrun the pursuit of the defensive line, but it did not work. Daingerfield was heads up. It goes for short yardage and a 4th down for Gilmer as the punter is in the end zone.
This is Dalen Hill, the quarterback, who will kick it away to Jeremy Long back in single safety. High kick. Long runs up, calls a fair catch at the 34-yard line, and the Tigers will have great field position to begin this drive. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third period.
Well, a big round of applause, said Allen, goes up over this way as the fans here from Daingerfield, Texas, are very excited about their team on the field now, as they have good position on the field. They have the football, and they have had momentum. Not able to capitalize on the last drive, but they're going to start out this one with excellent field position on about the 34, and they're hoping to cash in on this particular series of plays.
Again, Trailer and Favors are the setbacks in the eye behind quarterback Larry Key. Collins goes in motion. This is the pitch back to Favors. Good blocking on the right side, and he cuts it inside and is dropped as he nears the 30-yard line. The officials will spot it just short of the 30, and it'll be 2nd down and a long 6.
Good defensive effort by Paul Dodd. Dodd was there to make the stop. It could have gone for yardage, substantial yardage, but Paul Dodd made a good defensive effort for the Gilmer Buckeyes, who are trying to wrestle their necks and hold on and keep those Daingerfield Tigers from moving ever so much closer to end zone.
2nd down, 31-yard line. First man through is Trailer. Trailer crosses the 30, gets down to the 29, and here's another one of those 3rd down plays. 3rd down and about 5 or 6 coming up now for the Tigers, but they're probably now in 4-down territory inside the 30.
David Lee Smith was there. Paul Dodd also is once again in on that tackle as the Gilmer down men are jamming the forward progress and controlling the gaps.
Here it is, 3rd down now, a long 5 for the Tigers. Fake handoff, quarterback keeps Key across the 25 and down to about the 23-yard line. Going to be a 1st down, I believe, for the Daingerfield Tigers, and they keep this drive alive as quarterback Larry Key on the option kept it this time and saw enough daylight to pick up the 1st down.
He fakes to the first man and then keeps the ball, and this is simply a quarterback keeper play. The trailing back not in contention. He was out of position for the pitch, and so Key keeps it, moves down the field. 1st down. The Daingerfield Tigers as they move 1st and 10.
Near the 22-yard line, the officials spot it. This is the handoff to Favors. Big hole up the middle. And Duke Favors has about 5 yards straight up the middle before Chris McIntosh brought him down. Second down and about 5 coming up for the Tigers.
Well, we see Favors is limping a little bit on the play. We hope that nothing serious. It looks like he's staying in the game, but he got off of that pile limping just a little bit. This is Daingerfield football. They're good at 3-4 yards a clip. And cloud of dust, they can move that football. It takes time, but they have the ability to move the ball inside between the guards with hard-nosed running.
Second down and 4. Gus Barber is now in the game at fullback, and he gets the call this time. And Barber with some power running inside the 15 down to about the 14. Gus Barber, I believe, seeing his first action of the night for Nigel Traylor, picking up good yardage. He scored a touchdown last week. And Barber able to wedge this one down to about the 14 with some power running.
Here's quarterback Key giving to Barber, and Barber goes off in the right guard position there. Hits into the secondary a couple of steps after he receives the ball. And the Daingerfield Tigers continue to grind out that yardage. Small gains, but if you can make 4 yards every play, you're going to get out of trouble.
And that's what they've done so far here on this set, as it's third down and a long one. Coming up, full house backfield behind quarterback Key, and this time it's Favors straight ahead, and Favors is going to have the first down near the 11-yard line. So the relentless ground game now just pounding away for the Daingerfield Tigers, and they've got a first down at the 11 of Gilmer.
This offensive line of the Daingerfield Tigers are doing their job. Jeremy Hoffman, Dustin Crowley, Joe Bowers, Jeremy Jackson, Scott Foster, Brian McGill, all of these down linemen are doing a super duper job of simply opening the holes for the backs to squirt through 3, 4, 5 yards in every play.
Traylor back into the game at fullback on 1st and 10 at the 11 for Daingerfield. This is Favors behind Traylor, and great yardage and great blocking. Nigel Traylor leading the way for Duke Favors inside the 5, and they're going to spot it, let's see, at about the 3-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 2 for a touchdown, 2nd and 3, or 2nd and 2 for a first down, 2nd and 3 for a touchdown, as you watch Traylor leading the way for Favors that time.
Look at Doug Favors after he gets up after this play. Oh, he is excited. He is stirred up, as we say here in the Potty Woods. He wanted touchdown, and the Gilmer Buckeyes will have to hold on for dear life as here come the Tigers.
Favors again, once again over the left side, touchdown.
Touchdown.
Duke Favors from 3 yards out for the touchdown, once again moving behind the block of his fullback Nigel Traylor for the touchdown, and that's brought the Daingerfield Tigers to within 6 with the point after by Collins to come.
It doesn't come any better than this. East Texas High School football, and what a great game in this 3A competition. These are two great teams, and we've got a ball game 13-19 with the extra point attempt to come, and this is a fun one. Glad to be here. Great teams playing, and it's so fun to watch good close competition.
This is almost automatic. Collins pokes through, and with 2:14 left in the third period, it's been all Daingerfield in the third period, and the Tigers have closed the gap to 19-14. And Buzz, just as that field position worked for Gilmer in the first half, it's working for Daingerfield here in the second half.
Well, the coach must have talked to the Lions in the locker room between halves, because they came out with fire in their eyes. Watch this touchdown run. Here's number 7, Favors with the football, and he is not to be denied. Goes into the end zone. TD, touchdown for the Gilmer Buckeyes.
No, for the Daingerfield Tigers.
Well, exactly. That's what I said, the Daingerfield Tigers. I didn't say that right, didn't I, Sid? Number 7 made the
Now, let me ask you
Favors.
something. When you called them Lions in the dressing room, was that just a figure of speech?
Well, see, you got me. He has finally got me puzzled. Just a figure of speech. A figment of my imagination, don't you see? Anyway, the touchdown is on the board. The scores are on the scoreboard. It's 19, it's 14. Gilmer has 19, Daingerfield has 14, and Sid Allen, regardless of this announcer, we have got a heck of a feetball game here tonight.
Boy, it has come on here in the second half as Daingerfield has capitalized on a couple of turnovers and some poor field position and has made a game of it. It's 19-14 as Collins gets set to kick it away. And we would expect another boomer off the foot of Eric Collins here.
Oh, this Daingerfield group is fired up. Momentum has certainly turned in their direction.
Here's the kick by Collins, and it is a boomer. Wow. 2 yards deep in the end zone, bringing it out across the 10 and up to only about the 18-yard line. Number 12 for Gilmer, Tron Webb, returning that kick, but once again, poor field position for Gilmer to begin this drive.
You know, this is reminiscent of a young man who played on this Daingerfield team, Thomas Everett, 83, 84, 85. He was a hoss for Daingerfield. Of course, he's gone out to the pro ranks. But this is the kind of football they play here in Daingerfield, Texas. And the Gilmer Buckeyes are ahead 19-14. But both teams are playing great heads-up, rough, tough, rock-em, sock-em football.
Well, Gilmer really needs to turn the momentum here, so this is a big series of downs for their offense, and quarterback Dalen Hill, who has had no success here in the second half, and he hands off to the fullback in short yardage, only across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. That time it was David Lee Smith getting the call, and it's going to be second down and about 7 coming up for the Buckeyes.
Terry Lee made an outstanding defensive stop there. These Buckeyes are desperately trying to get the ball out of their end of the field and where they can breathe a little bit easier, because it's very evident and clear at this time the defensive stance by the Daingerfield Tigers has helped them in their own area, and it's very uncomfortable operating in that area for such a team that has the power defensively as the Daingerfield Tigers.
Just across the 20-yard line, 2nd and 7. This is Hill rolling to his right, looking downfield, and underthrows his intended receiver that time, Josh Garrett, the tight end who rolled with the quarterback, but the pass underthrown, and now here's 3rd down, and we're looking at 7 for the Buckeyes.
Well, quarterback Key had a lot of time to throw the ball. Some pressure put on him simply because of the pursuing linebacker that came up from the secondary. He was not able to comfortably set up to throw that pass, so consequently it falls to the green turf here in Daingerfield as an incomplete pass. Bringing up 3rd down.
Dalen Hill, quarterback for the Buckeyes, has his team to the line of scrimmage. End split on both sides of the field. Lone setback behind him, 3rd down. Now here's the reverse, and coming around is Rico Gardner trying to find some running room across the 25 and getting up to about the 28. He'll be close for the 1st down. Depends on where they spot it. We may have to have a measurement at this point. And the officials, even without the measurement, indicate a 1st down.
Very important play for the Gilmer Buckeyes. Watch Rico Gardner, as Rico Gardner has a couple of blockers out front. On individual effort, he simply sidestepped the pursuit of the Daingerfield Lions, moves up across the marker necessary for the 1st down.
Credit Seth Langford, number 70, right guard, who pulled that time with putting a good screen block out ahead of Rico Gardner and allowing him to pick up those extra couple of yards that gives the Buckeyes a 1st down at their own 28-yard line. So they get that ball out of some very poor field position now with the 1st down. And this is Hill down the line, pitching back, and David Lee Smith getting across the 35 to the 37. Good pitch that time. And I think David Lee wanted a face mask call, but didn't get it.
It's a beautiful pitch. Quarterback Key had young people from Daingerfield hanging all over him. In that Gilmer hanging all over him, and he quickly, just before he went down to his knees, just went down and said, I think that was awful close. It
was awful close.
That call there.
It's hard to tell, but looked like David Lee Smith sure thought that he was grabbed by a face mask that time. 2nd down and 2 coming up, as we may not get this one off as the 3rd period winds down here in Daingerfield. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's going to end the 3rd period of play here in Daingerfield. It was all Tigers in the 3rd period, down 19-0 at halftime. Daingerfield has come back in the 3rd period and made a game of it. At the end of 3, it's Gilmer 19, Daingerfield 14. Sid Allen and Buzz Long back in Daingerfield for the final 12 minutes of a real barn burner we've got all of a sudden. And Gilmer with 2nd down and 2, trying to keep a drive alive here to begin the fourth period. Now we'll be faced with 3rd and 1 after that handoff. But Buzz, all Daingerfield there in the third period.
Absolutely, Sid Allen. Dangerfield has amassed 52 yards rushing in the third quarter, and Gilmer has only 19 yards rushing. 52 Dangerfield, 19 Gilmer. This second half has been all Dangerfield offensively.
Big third down play, third down and a short 2 coming up at the 38-yard line. Gilmer needs to get just short of the 40 for the first down. So we'll see. They've been unable to pick up a first down prior to this drive, and we'll see if they can keep this one alive as Rico Gardner and David Lee Smith, the setbacks behind quarterback Dalen Hill, and the handoff is to Rico Gardner, and it's going to be close, just short of the 40-yard line. We'll see what kind of spot he gets. Could have a measurement here. We'll see.
Well, it's going to be ever so close. Rico Gardner was hit just as he got the football. Whether his forward progress is enough for the 1st and 10, it looks like it's going to be close enough to measure, so the officials on the field have called for a timeout. Here Gardner gets the football, goes over the right tackle. Number 20 was there. Oh, that was a big number 20 that made the tackle. Torrey Alexander. He did a super job there, keeping the yardage very, very short. Both teams, by the way, as the chains go up, both teams have 0 passing yards in the third quarter.
Boy, they're just a little bit short, a couple of links of the chain short. Well, now they're doing a little maintenance work, so maybe they'll re-stretch it here.
The chains broke, boss. What do we do now? Looks good enough to me. What do you think, Sid?
First down by just over the length of the football, so the Buckeyes will keep the ball with 11:06 as you look at the Gilmer cheerleaders who've come over to pay a visit on the near side of the field to our Fox 51 cameras.
Well, this is a fine ball game. You know, it's fun when they're close like this. The clock is ticking, 11:02, 11:01, 11 remaining in this football game, and it could be anybody's football game. 1st and 10.
1st and 10 for the Buckeyes. Dalen Hill, your quarterback. Gardner and Smith, the setbacks. This is Hill straight back to pass. Wants to go long, has a man, and almost intercepted as Jeremy Long came over to break it up.
Jeremy Long did a great job breaking that ball up.
Kevin Vasquez was streaking down the sideline here on the near side, and watch as the pass thrown maybe just a little too late, and Jeremy Long had enough time to come over and break it up.
Good protection, good protection. The ball is in the air. Just a good defensive play on behalf of the Daingerfield Tigers.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Buckeyes as they move from left to right at their own 39-yard line. This time they split Tennyson to the near side of the field. And the handoff fake to one man and given to David Lee Smith around the outside. Smith has some running room across midfield, the 40, the 30. He could go. No, he's brought down at the 21-yard line. David Lee Smith with some excellent open field running, just turned that corner and turned on the speed, and suddenly the Gilmer Buckeyes are threatening.
This David Lee can run. I tell you, David Lee Smith can run. He's got the power and the speed. He receives the football there, goes around his left-hand side, misses one potential tackle there, and at this point, once he crosses the line of scrimmage, it's simply a foot race, which he won good yardage. That's a great gun. That run goes for 39 yards. Oh my, these Gilmer Buckeyes are wound up going now, Sid.
We have had a lot of calls tonight for Seth Langford, the right guard, and he got one block as he turned the corner and then kept going and got another one downfield. And this is Smith again, getting down to about the 20-yard line. So don't want to overlook those blockers. And Seth Langford with a great job on that last carry to free David Lee Smith for the big yardage.
And to Askew defensively. Askew, a big fella right in the middle of that Daingerfield line. Shaw stops the forward progress of the Gilmer Buckeyes about a yard, maybe 2 gained on that play. And right now, the Gilmer Buckeyes are marching down close to that 20-yard line. They'd like nothing better than to have a blanket of security and put some more points on this scoreboard.
2nd down 8 for the Buckeyes as Tennyson comes to the near side of the field. Still Smith and Gardner, the setbacks, misdirection play. Here's Dalen Hill keeping it, got a flag down as he gets to the 15-yard line. Good looking misdirection play that time. That
was, Sid. The flow was going to the right. The indication and the look was to fool the defense. It looks like the flow was going to the left, and they turn around quick, go to the right, have a couple of blockers that have pulled out, and that was just a fine little misdirection play.
Well, at Texas Tech, we used to call that the crazy option. Everybody goes one way and then comes back the other way, and unfortunately, there was an illegal block by the Buckeyes, and this is going to be a big yardage penalty stepped off against Gilmer, as the official's going to spot it across the 30 if he ever gets there.
Wow.
To the 31-yard line. So big yardage stepped off against the Buckeyes. They need to get down to the 12. So if my addition's correct, they need 19 yards for the first down, and it's second down coming up.
Did you go to school at Texas Tech, Sid?
Red Raiders.
Red Raiders. I went to Penn State. Or was that State Penn? Little humor there. Rusty batted those eyes on that one.
Very little, I might add.
Very, very little. Oh, this is a fun football game. That clock is ticking. 9:59-14 remaining in this football game. 19-14. Here come the Gilmer Buckeyes. Sid Allen, play-by-play.
At the 31, and now we got a flag, and the clock had wound down. So we're going to back the Buckeyes up 5 more yards. Back to the 36, and suddenly the drive has stalled. And now they're getting out of field goal range as they're back to the 36, needing to get down to the 12. So it's going to be 2nd and 24.
That's second and a taxi ride. A long way to go. I guess this might be a chance to put the ball in the air, if not on this play. However, with the fine talent that Gilmer has in that backfield and some of those monster blocks they're making on the line of scrimmage, they might just keep the ball because they've been very successful on the ground. 9:02, 9:01.
Second down for the Buckeyes. Split ends on the far side of the field. Hill fakes the handoff, keeps, got some running room across the 30, 25, 20. Dalen Hill could go down to the 10, and inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Quarterback Dalen Hill with big yardage, 25, 26 yards down to the 9-yard line, and a first down for the Buckeyes on a big 2nd and long.
That was a big play for Gilmer when they needed it. Watch Dalen Hill, the quarterback. He simply runs his trailing back outside looking for the option, but no, he says, here's an opportunity for me to make some yardage. He keeps the ball and turns in a fine run deep down in the end of the zone that puts the Daingerfield Tigers against the wall with their backs bowed within the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Gilmer Buckeyes.
You know, he had a 95-yard run last week, Dalen Hill did, for the Gilmer Buckeyes, so he's no stranger to long, crucial runs. And now a first down for the Buckeyes, and the fake by Hill, and he is met at the 10-yard line by Jeremy Long.
It didn't work that time. So Jeremy Long was in there first to diagnose that play before it was able to develop. They simply had that one. You said you could do it once, but twice? Daingerfield was able to diagnose that play, and we see there's an injured, looks like Gilmer Buckeye on the field. We hope that...
I believe this is the quarterback, Dalen Hill, and let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Watch his leg. His left leg got bowed. Oh, my.
Yes, that looks bad. Let's hope he's okay. Got that left leg bowed back under him there.
Looked like that could have been an ankle that...
Well, this is one guy that Gilmer Buckeyes need not lose. He's a very talented young man. Not only is he the field general, but he is actually himself running the ball for sizable yardage, pitching the ball back, doing a lot for these Gilmer Buckeyes. And with that, there's a timeout on the field. Let's take time in for these messages on Fox 51.
Inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. It was second down, and it's going to bring up a third down play. So something you don't like to see in high school football, Buzz, but it's part of the game, and we hope that Dalen Hill will be all right.
We certainly do. Our wishes go with him, and our prayers do also. 7:37, 7:36 and counting remaining in this football game, with Gilmer marching 19 for Gilmer, 14 for the Daingerfield Tigers. And here come the Buckeyes.
Third down now, 3rd and goal as the ball is at the 8-yard line. Adam Teftiller in the game at quarterback for the Buckeyes. Pitches back around the right side. It's Rico Gardner trying to turn the corner. Gets past one man, digging for the end zone and stopped just short at the 1-yard line. Rico Gardner with some great second and third effort. Unable to penetrate the end zone, but they're going to spot it at the 1. So let's see what Coach Doug Bush wants to do here as the clock ticks inside 7 minutes. Watch this effort by Rico Gardner.
Unbelievable. Rico is simply very elusive. Look at him as he evades one tackler that was all over him. And Rico is finally tackled, and even after he's tackled, he plunges forward near that goal line. Quite a run. Rico
So here
Gardner.
it is, 4th down at the goal. And it's quarterback Teftiller sneaking touchdown, Gilmer Buckeyes.
Boy, that's a big one, a big one for the Gilmer Buckeyes as Todd Teftiller goes into the end zone with 6:29 remaining in this football game. What a play. Boy, they were knocking on the door, and Todd Teftiller finally just said, hey, I'm going to take it in myself, went into the end zone, touchdown. This Gilmer bunch is very determined here tonight.
So quarterback Dalen Hill going down with an injury. Adam Teftiller coming on to take his place has guided the Buckeyes in for the touchdown that gives them a 25-14 lead. And now Dugan on to attempt the point after. Teftiller to hold, and Dugan's kick is up and through the uprights. And with 6:29 to go here in the ball game, suddenly, just when Daingerfield had everything going its way in the second half, the Buckeyes have come right back with a touchdown of their own for a 26-14 lead.
Anything can happen in this ball game, and it's by far not over. 6:29 remaining in the game. Gilmer up top 26-14, but there's a lot of talent on this field. Look at Todd Teftiller as he simply bowls over his offensive lineman that was leading him, goes into the end zone on the quarterback sneak. Hey, that's a great block by Adam Teftiller. Adam Teftiller, the quarterback, was reading the block in front of him, and Adam was there in the end zone for a touchdown. Gilmer. It could go either way. 6:29 is a lot of time when you've got two talented teams on the field like we have here. A lot of ability, a lot of great running ability on either team. So this may go down to the wire, but right now Gilmer's in command, 26-14 here in the fourth quarter with only 6:29 remaining.
Well, the Tigers haven't shown a lot of passing efficiency in this ball game, and it would appear that they're going to have to do a little of that to get back in it with 6:29 to go. We'll see when they get the ball back, and Dugan will be doing the kickoff chores now with Hill out of the ball game.
By the way, we'll go down to the field, Sid, immediately after the game and see if we can get a quick interview with the winning coach here tonight. And next week we'll be in RH St. John Stadium in Kilgore Henderson. Boy, that is going to be a good game, is every year, Sid. I'm really looking forward to that encounter, and you'll see it right here on Fox 51 at 10:30 broadcast time. Next Friday night, Henderson will take on Kilgore, the Henderson Lions and the Kilgore Bulldogs, and you'll see it right here exclusively on Fox 51. Don't miss it.
Here's Dugan ready to kick it away for the Buckeyes with 6:29 to go in the ball game. Dugan approaches and stops and now kicks. He almost got a man offside there, but it's picked up and running to the left and picking up some yardage. Number 1 for the Daingerfield Tigers, Dumont Mason, returning that kick. If you saw Dugan that time, he was approaching and stopped and almost caught one of his men offsides there, but he kept going. Watch right here.
It's a wonder. It's a wonder there wasn't. He did stop in time, but it was very, very close. About 2 gnats hairs from being an offsides there.
Well, it is a first down in good field position for the Tigers as they put it in play at their own 42-yard line. So
gnats
let's
do
see.
have hairs, don't they?
If you say so.
Okay. Back to play with Sid Allen. Play-by-play, Fox 51.
Larry Key, the quarterback, eye in the backfield. This is Favors, and Favors gets across the 45 up to about the 48-yard line. Picked up close to 6 yards. Duke Favors. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Tigers.
Well, these Daingerfield Tigers say, no, we're not out of this football game. We are here to play, and 6:03 is all that's remaining on the clock. So not only is Daingerfield fighting the Buckeyes, but the clock is becoming the ally of the Gilmer Buckeyes here as it continues to tick to the waning moments of this encounter.
Larry Key splits ends on the far side of the field. Collins and Barton. Key throwing. Collins has it across midfield, the 45, and down to the 43-yard line goes Eric Collins for a first down for the Tigers.
Collins ran a beautiful route. He just went down, got inside of his man, turned around, and here was the football waiting for him, and his defender was nowhere around. Good high percentage pass there as 1st and 10 is earned by the Daingerfield Tigers.
So here we go at the 43-yard line. The Tigers moving the ball late in the ball game. This is Key down the line. He'll keep it. Gets down to about the 40-yard line and spun down just short of the 40. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 for Daingerfield.
Josh Garrett made a beautiful stump there for the Gilmer Buckeyes as the Daingerfield Tigers are marching with 5:20, 19-18 and counting remaining in this football game.
Watch Key keep the pitch here, decides not to pitch it and cuts it up for about 3 yards before he's brought down 2nd and 7 coming up for Daingerfield. Again, in split on both sides of the field, eye in the backfield behind quarterback Larry Key. This time on the delay, the handoff is to Favors. Favors with some running room gets down inside the 35-yard line with some good power running. Actually, they're going to spot it just short of the 35 where his knee touched, and it's going to be 3rd down coming up, and quickly Daingerfield up to the line of scrimmage as you watch the replay here with Favors.
Watch this is power running. As a matter of fact, he's going to run over his own man. Foul, get out of my way, I'm ready to go. And he turns on for another 2 or 3 yards there.
This is Trailer, and Trailer picking up good yardage with some power running inside the 30 for another first down for Daingerfield, but the clock is running as we're inside of 4.5 minutes, and quickly the Tigers up to the line of scrimmage to run another play. 1st and 10 on that run by Trailer, and now the snap, no flags, going deep, long pass intended downfield, and it's intercepted.
Stay there.
And back there with that, guess who? Rico Gardner, star on offense, with the pass interception that stops this Daingerfield drive.
Well, Rico showed me a little savvy there as he intercepted the ball in the end zone. He thought just a moment about running it out of the end zone, but quickly got back to his knees, thus bringing the ball out to the 20-yard line, and that was the savvy play. Rico Gardner.
Key just hung this one up in the air a little bit too long and allowed the free safety, Rico Gardner, to get back there on double coverage, and watch Rico go high in the air to bring this one in.
Good interception there.
And like you said, Buzz, some real good football savvy there to down it in the end zone rather than try and run it out. And now we'll see what the Buckeyes can do. First, they're going to get a penalty. Number 52 for the Buckeyes, Paul Dodd, the left tackle, a little bit over anxious on the far side of the field, is going to get whistled for a procedure violation. That'll back them up to the 15-yard line.
And the Buckeyes jumped. Daingerfield wanted to make sure that the official saw it, so he just went in there and popped him right good, knocked him back about 10 yards. By the way, we'd like to thank Todd's TV and Appliance for making this game possible, along with the Video Zone and our good friends at Massey Brown's Sporting Good, who so graciously make available the Massey Brown's Fox Skybox here in Daingerfield. Thanks a lot to these great sponsors. We appreciate you.
Teftiller down the line will keep it, gets across the 15 up to about the 16, so about a yard is all Adam Teftiller able to pick up on that play, and it will bring up 2nd down and about 14 for the Gilmer Buckeyes as we wind down this clock inside of 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Well, this has been a good ball game, and it isn't over by any means yet. Hey, there's the Fox Skybox, the Massey Brown Fox Skybox, as our cameras pan across this crowd from Daingerfield here. Good representation from the community of Daingerfield, and across the way, our friends from Tatertown, Gilmer out too. So 2 great teams with fans that support their respective teams in a big way.
2nd down, 14 for the Buckeyes from their own 16-yard line. This time the handoff is to Gardner, and Gardner finds a hole and gets up close to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 20, and we see Coach Brian McCamey of the Daingerfield Tigers wanting a timeout, and he calls it. as the clock has stopped with 3:17 to go in the ball game. As you look at the Gilmer band whooping it up on the far side of the field with their team on top by 12 and only 3:17 to go.
Well, they're going to conserve as much time as they can, call the timeout. Let me remind you about this Sunday at NFL and Fox. Pre-game activity at 11 a.m. The Green Bay Packers take on the Dallas Cowboys in Texas Stadium. Noon will be the kickoff time. This is one you need to see. It's going to be a good one. Understand that Troy Aikman's going to be starting. Sid said he'll be back, and that's good, possibly for the Dallas Cowboys. Post-game report immediately following the game. All the action takes place this Sunday right here, 11 o'clock. Football, Fox 51. Don't miss it, the Cowboys and the Packers. That's going to be a good game, I tell you. Of course, any game, man. Look at this with 74. He's got it, Andy. Big number 74 says, I'm going to remember my number.
Really?
Hey, that's that guy said, Mr. Barber, put something on me to help me remember my number.
You know, you kind of wonder sometimes when you see something like that. They wake up in the morning and they say, hey, I think it'd be great to shave my numbers in my head.
Understand the Gilmer water boy put WB in his head. This is the truth. WB, water boy.
3rd and 10. Teff Tiller around the left side on some trickery. Picks up some yardage up to about the 22, but that's about all. And now Daingerfield wants another timeout as they're going to get the ball back. It'll be 4th and 8 for Gilmer, and they'll have to punt it away. But the clock is stopped with 3:07 left in the game. How about that, Buzz? Did you ever wake up when you were a young man and say, hey, I think it'd look good to shave my numbers in the back of my head?
Yes. Well, I didn't know. I never have, Sid. As a matter of fact, I thought it'd be good to put my full name back there, but I didn't have room with such a small head. Buzz Aloysius Long. That would look good, wouldn't it? So, yeah. Oh, that. Say, Saturday's got some big shows coming up. Star Trek and Deep Space Nine. I'll tell you, that's going to be some fun one. Saturday at 2 o'clock right here. It's a 2-hour premiere. It's going to be a fun one. You're a Trekkie, aren't you?
Well, I'm afraid not.
Okay. I tell you, this is one you want to watch. And don't forget Baywatch Sunday. Now, Baywatch said is something for some reason that appeals to me, and I'm sure I don't know why there's some interest for you. Everybody loves Baywatch, and you can see it Sunday through Wednesday right here at 9 p.m. Baywatch is on Fox 51. We get so many comments about this great program, as all of the programs you see on Fox 51, and we appreciate all of our viewers. And on Friday Night Football, the game of the week, Sid Allen and myself travel all over, and we hear so many nice things from the people that watch the action at 10:30 after the game, and to you folks that have made this event much bigger than we ever anticipated. We say a big thank you.
That's a lot about Baywatch, isn't it?
What I want to say is a heck of a good program.
That must be a good program. I got to watch that sometime.
Well, it's just fine young American folk trying to do the best they can to entertain people. You know that's right.
Okay.
I'm about ready to go down to the field before I get obnoxious or something.
Adam Dugan's going to kick it away here for the Buckeyes. From the 22, the line of scrimmage, Dugan with a high snap gets a kick away.
Short kick.
Short, high kick. Bounces at the 43. There's Gilmer Buckeyes all around it, and they down it right at about the 43-yard line. So I don't know if Daingerfield can put a quick score on the board, Buzz. Might still have a chance here.
You bet you. Quick score, maybe an onside kick. Anything can happen in East Texas high school football, especially in this area. There's so much talent embedded in this area. So we're not gonna call this game yet. Daingerfield is in control with 2:58, 26-14, but it's not over till it's over.
That's true.
You can quote me, by the way, on that, Sid, if you'd like.
Larry Key, quarterback. Nigel Traylor and Duke Favors in the backfield, in the eye behind Key, and this is Favors. Second man through, gets it down to the 40. I don't think they have time to do that, Buzz, so we'll see. They get up to the line of scrimmage now to run a quick play. Second down and 7. 2 minutes, 40 seconds, and Key will just down it to stop the clock. And so we'll have 3rd and 7 coming up as Key comes over to the near side to talk to his coach, Brian McCamey, real quickly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think have they used all 3 timeouts or just 2 of them?
I
believe they've used 2, and I think they've got 1 remaining. But instead of burning that last time, a very smart call to simply throw the ball to the turf and kill the clock and save that last timeout in the event that it's needed. 2:40 remaining in this football game.
So Larry Key, quarterback, and I'm sure we'll see him winging this one on 3rd and 7 with time expiring on the Daingerfield Tigers. Rolling to his right, Key looking downfield, decides to run it and is hemmed in by Gilmer Buckeyes at about the 42-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down now for Daingerfield. And now we've got a whistle and a timeout indicated, and that's got to be the last one for the Daingerfield Tigers with 2:25 left, and they'll have to put it all on the line on this 4th down play.
Well, Mr. Allen, we're going to slip down to the field now and leave it with you, and look forward to talking with the winning coach right after this game. Good luck, Sid Allen. You're doing a super-duper job tonight.
Ask that coach about Baywatch.
How about this, what's this where you pump yourself up?
Yeah,
The bomb squad.
The bomb squad, right.
Oh,
teach him that, Buzz.
Isn't this fun? You know, we could be working for a living. It's in your hands, my dear friend Sid Allen. Carry on. We're going down the field to pick up the winning coach.
And when we get back to action here, it'll be Daingerfield at the 43-yard line with a 4th down and 9 coming up. And their last opportunity they've got to convert here, or it's definitely all over. Look at these Sunday afternoon shows coming up on Fox TV. Quickly Down Under, starring Tom Selleck. That'll be Sunday at 4 p.m. on Fox 51, following the Cowboy game. And then Space Above and Beyond follows at 6 p.m. All that coming up Sunday on Fox 51. Hope you'll join us for that. 4th down, 9. Could be the last chance for the Daingerfield Tigers as Key rolls out, looking downfield, has a man open, but now he scrambles around being chased, and there's Gilmer Buckeyes all over the place. Now he loses him, looking downfield, there's a man, but it's going to be Rico Gardner again. Flags all over the field, and we'll see what they're all about. Rico Gardner coming up with his 2nd interception in as many series. I think we've got ineligible receivers downfield, and whatsoever. But Gilmer will retain possession at their own 30-yard line with the first down. And now they drop a man deep back to prevent such an occurrence. And I'm sure you'll see Teftiller just kneel down now as the clock is moving with 1:40 left in the game. And Adam Teftiller drops to a knee. And that's what we're going to see probably for one more time or two. Minute 20 left in the ball game. 26-14, the Gilmer Buckeyes are going to win this one from the Daingerfield Tigers here on the Tigers' home turf. Look at the Daingerfield drill team and band on the near side of the field. Inside a minute when we get this snap off, so probably this and one more snap. Quarterback Teftiller waiting until the play clock winds down a little bit. Takes the knee again with 50 seconds left, and we'll see when they start the play clock. .40 seconds in the game. And there's the play clock starting, so we will have to have one more kneel by Teftiller, and then this one will be history. It was all Gilmer in the first half as the Tigers built up, or the Buckeyes built up a 19-0 lead. Tigers came back in the third quarter to make a game of it at 19-14. But the Buckeyes put it away here in the fourth and final period, 26-14 as we wind down the final seconds here in Daingerfield. So our final score, the Gilmer Buckeyes 26, the Daingerfield Tigers 14. We'll be back to Daingerfield to wrap it up after this.
Don't forget, Daingerfield Tigers take on Carl Stewart next week in